The real reason we're here, though.
Now that we're past Child's Play.
Yeah, past the toys at Nintendo is the Xbox One.
That is the real reason.
Project Scorpio. God, am I hype? Kevin's not. And that's a problem. And it's fine.
There's no reason for you to be hyped about this. Until they give you a true reason to be.
The only reason I'm hype is because I've never really cared about graphics or anything. But for some reason, I couldn't tell you why, I want a 4K HDR gaming monitor and console. Because right now, at my point in my life, I am not playing multiplayer games every day. I'm not like I used to where I only played multiplayer strictly. I am all about story games now. I love Firewatch. I'm playing through Life is Strange. Gone Home is one of my favorite games. Emily's Away, too. There's a Let's Play up. But if I can play a game that makes those games look and play even better...
Get it all on PC, and you're fine.
Yeah, he's got a point.
But I don't want to.
I know. I don't want to either.
I don't like PC games. I have a capable PC rig. Capable.
Hook up your controller. You won't know the difference.
Everything
will look better.
Every time I try to hook up a controller up to my PC, it never fucking works, right?
And I'm just pushing your buttons.
Oh, I know.
I could
devil's advocate.
I'm not even truly a PC.
You're like a 3/4 PC gamer at this point.
You're moving there.
You're growing. But this is the thing, and this is the problem with Scorpio right now. Is we talked about in the foreplay Fallout 4, right? In the first 48 hours, me and Nick both put I think a combined 40 hours into that game. It was disgusting. I didn't sleep for 2 days, and then I never beat it.
That's a shame.
And you know what? A lot of times I was in the heart of that city, the frame rate dropped to fucking 5.
Yeah.
And it was borderline unplayable for me. And I never had that moment before. I'll never forget. There were so many games because I follow the game's fucking media all the time where they're like, oh, the frame rate sucks in this game. I'm like,
who cares?
I don't fucking care. It's working fine for me. That Fallout 4 was bad. And I was like, this summer I'm going to catch up on all my shit. And now it's like, I'm not going to play Fallout 4 until the Scorpio comes out because the Scorpio is going to run it a hell of a lot fucking better.
That's fair.
And that kind of sucks for some of the Xbox One people who are not going to get the Scorpio.
I don't even know if Scorpio could save Fallout from its frame drop.
No. I mean, it has to. And it
just embedded in the game. It just happens. You just deal with it.
But still, it's like...
I love that. I still love Fallout 4. Amazing game.
Well, Nick, where do you stand? Because Kevin needs to be sold. I'm done. I'm buying it.
No, Nick's...
Yeah, where do you stand right now?
I was absolute buy until literally 20 minutes before we started this. We had a video of the guy talking about it.
You gave a little preview. As the
equivalent of the PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
that upset me. I was thinking
that's what Kevin said.
It's so irrelevant if it's that.
Yeah, in my head, it was literally the next generation. I was like, let's freaking go.
This is why it is.
We'll wait till E3.
It is Xbox E3 to win, and so easily to lose.
Yeah,
because this is the problem right now. Me and Kevin, and you, Destiny, fucking super fans.
Yes.
We fucking loved it. We were in it. Right now, the Xbox
4,
the PlayStation 4 Pro was announced that it cannot run Destiny 2 at 60 FPS. I fully believe, without knowing a single thing about internal schematics, but how much they're pushing the Scorpio, powerhouse that it is, that I believe there's no way it can't run that game at 60 FPS, at least at 1080p. The problem is, if you're because Xbox One Scorpio is fully backwards compatible. If you're playing multiplayer, and on consoles, it is never done this. If you're playing with an Xbox One user who's playing the game at 30 frames per second, and you're a Scorpio user playing at 60 frames per second, apparently you have an inherent advantage.
No,
you do.
If you see, there's actually a GIF that I saw on Twitter. I don't know who, but it was literally 2 lines, one moving at 60 FPS and one moving at 30, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So now, me as a Scorpio owner this fall playing Destiny 2, I probably could run the game at 60, which would make the gameplay smoother, which I'm not a snob on. But if I know that, I'll be a snob if I know my thing can do it and it can't because of marketing bullshit.
Yeah.
And other reasons. But I don't know if that's the solution. The thing I'm saying is, should Scorpio have been backwards compatible or not? Because if it wasn't, if it was a whole new console, And Destiny 2 had to release on Xbox One by its own base, and then Xbox Scorpio by its probably super small base. The Scorpio version could probably run it at 60 FPS, but...
Well, I'm all for backwards compatibility in the state of being able to play other games.
Like
I'm not as
Xbox One does it
crazy-
now. It's perfect.
Yeah,
great.
I'm not crazy about inter-network play between consoles. Like, for instance, is there any games that you can play Xbox 360 and play online with Xbox One people?
Yeah, the backwards compatible.
The backwards compatible games.
Call of Duty games and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, because you're playing
Currently,
them on the
it's through,
Xbox
like, a cloud
360
service.
emulator. Yeah, you're right.
And
Okay.
Rocket League was unprecedented in the fact that it was the first game to have
Cross-network.
cross-network play.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
Because, yeah, I'm like, it's not right to be able to spend however much money we've spent on games for one console and have it be obsolete right as soon as the new console comes out. I'm not crazy
You're
about
already,
that.
The thing is that and this is what's so I'm finally realizing all of this. When you purchase a console, you're basically purchasing obsolete hardware already. Whereas if you
Yeah.
have a PC, and you're updating or you update whatever, everything's already. It's absurd the fact how
It's on that machine.
I spent
Yeah.
$500 when that Xbox One released
I spent 9 something.
for something that was like, I mean, because they're always vague as to what's actually.
And it
in
really
the
it
machine.
depends on your preference. If you want to
Yeah.
go through the keyboard and mouse, if you want to go through, you can't deny now, Kevin, that there is the driver problem sometimes where you sometimes want to go on and you can't just instantly come in and play. It's happened to me.
I've had no problems with any of
It's
that.
happened.
Not only that, too. Like, again, we already had this discussion before, like on another
Yeah.
podcast. But the big thing is like Xbox or a console in general, it just works.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Rosa's computer literally broke down for an hour and a half earlier
Today. Did not expect that when I walked in.
That would never happen with a console.
No,
I mean, unless
it's-
it really
unless
was
it-
broken.
But when it breaks,
It's broken.
it's fucking broken.
Yeah.
And there's no solution. You're not
Yeah.
fixing
No,
your
you're not
console.
fixing that. No.
Unless it's the right 3 rings of death and you put it in a towel, and that worked for a friend Christian who's on the podcast, but that's a different story. But still, yeah, that's why it's like I said, they could kill it at E3 or they could fucking
But that's-
ruin it.
Nick was
at
mentioning
E3.
how he thought that the Scorpio was going to be next gen. And initially I thought that too, but I
Yeah.
think we're in the stage now where they're really, I don't
There's
think
no
there isn't
gen.
going to be a next generation. I think you are.
Well,
where
this
you
is,
are.
but this is
I don't know.
this is the problem now is that we're out of sync. Nintendo's been out of sync forever, right?
Oh, yeah.
360
Ever since the
released
Wii.
a year ahead,
Yeah.
a year ahead of PS3, and some like to say PS3 actually caught up in sales at the end of the generation, and that's when Sony, because what they do have and what they fucking kill us on. Kevin, what's your favorite exclusive? Do you even have one on Xbox? They don't have the exclusive. They can't match up to
Gears,
Sony.
Halo.
Kevin doesn't play those.
That's true.
He plays Halo, but he doesn't play Halo for the story.
Yeah.
I mess around.
Xbox can't compete with the exclusives. One of my favorite games of all time is The Last of Us.
It's
I bought a
amazing
PlayStation 3 for The Last of Us.
Yeah.
The Uncharted series was.
Yep.
Also,
Kevin
a great
just played
series,
those.
Yeah.
I destroyed those in like 5 days.
And that's what I'm saying. Xbox doesn't have that. The 360 launched a year ahead, so that might be the only reason that we crushed it in the 360 left. Obviously, there will never come a day in my life where I say that PS4 controller is better than the Xbox One.
Oh, the Xbox
Even
controller
without
is bar
owning an
none the
Xbox
best.
One Elite controller,
The Xbox controller
One
is better.
it's
Yeah.
the best controller ever made.
Yeah.
Definitively.
I can
I don't
agree.
know, the 360 controller was really good.
It was fantastic.
It was still fantastic, but the one outclasses it.
Yeah,
Easy.
it just did everything a little bit better. Just a little bit.
A little bit. Exactly.
But they didn't
a little
ruin
bit
it.
better.
They could have ruined it like they ruined the dashboard and all that shit, but that's fine. I had a point.
So Scorpio, they need to give
Yeah.
me an actual, like 4K alone isn't gonna.
Yeah, that's not enough.
But what if it tells you it's going to run Destiny 2 better and faster? Because that's essentially what it's supposed
I'm
to
not
do.
gonna spend if I
Okay,
already
yeah.
have a computer that can run Destiny at an uncapped frame rate.
hmm
Why would I spend what's probably going to be like $500?
Well, let's touch
see.
on
on a
that.
new console.
What do you think it's gonna? Because let me just preface what the speculation is right now. There's a couple rumors where they think Microsoft's going to take a loss and they're going to try to launch this thing at about $350 to
There's
$400.
All right, 400 maybe. 350, no way.
400 is the absolute perfect spot. What I think they're going to launch at is what they launched the Xbox One at, which is, well, actually, I don't think they're. I think they're going to launch it at $449 because they're going to keep the Xbox One S at $349 and launch this at $449. It's not going to be quite $500. We dropped $500 at launch on the Xbox One.
Yeah, because they gave us a stupid camera.
Yeah, a Kinect camera, which they got rid of.
That was a terrible gimmick.
I think if they want to win this, it's going to be like $399. I think they're going to kill it. No matter your 4K, you're going to buy it at $399.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you
We'll
right
see
now,
that.
I'm not.
$399 is very, very competitive.
I'm telling
Well,
you.
again, I got to see what it's going to be. If it's just going to be the Xbox One Pro, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I can't
I
justify
couldn't do
that
it.
in my head.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's,
If it will be what it's called, Project Scorpio, what I envision it to be, what the Xbox.
well, yeah, but
One
what do
was
you
for the
envision it to
360.
be then if you're not just want your games to
I
run
don't
better?
even know.
I
don't even know.
envision them,
Honestly,
I envision them putting. People are saying like, "Oh, the most powerful console ever." If they
Show
if
me.
there's-
Technically. Well,
they-
it literally is the most powerful console
if
ever.
there's like
that's,
an experience or like a new game that's only. I mean, I don't think, and that's the thing. I don't think they're
They
going to
can't,
only
no.
make games available on that.
No, that's
which is-
that's literally by Microsoft as of right now. You cannot launch a game on Microsoft Scorpio that is exclusive to Scorpio. It has to be backwards compatible with Xbox One.
See, I understand.
But
I understand why they're doing
It
that,
makes
too.
sense. One, you can't be mad at it. Two, and three,
No, I'm
think
not.
about Destiny, which is the game we were all in love with. Somehow that game ran on the 360,
that's
Yeah,
nuts.
that makes
which held the game back.
It did,
but
hold the game
also-
back.
immensely.
Look at what they got. Look what we could have played that on 360. Isn't that nuts? What
Yeah.
that game did, like raids on the 360. That's
They were
pretty crazy.
they
Again, a console that launched in 2005, by the way.
Yeah, there were points where they had to take minor when they were adding vault space to Destiny. They had to remove a small feature on the 360.
yeah,
the
that's
compare
right.
Feature.
Good callback.
When
Yeah,
you're comparing weapons, they had to remove that because they had to be able to fit the new
allocate
vault.
the
Yeah.
RAM
They were
or whatever.
literally using the maximum amount of like
Yeah.
God bless
processing
them,
power on the
man.
360. It was crazy. I don't know how they do that shit.
Optimization.
But yeah, I don't know if just playing upscaled games on native 4Ks. 4K doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not.
I
like a
think that
selling point for me
I
now.
think this is the one when I'm not sure if they could do because of marketing reasons, but I think it's one thing that they have to do is almost say that any game that is released at this point on Xbox One, if you have a Scorpio, that game is playing at 1080p 60 frames per second no matter what.
I just love
That I feel like that if it's on release on PC, which PC can do it just has to.
Yeah.
There's no reason that you should play a game, and I hate the frames per second argument. I really do, because if the game plays fine and I have fun with it, I don't really care.
You know, it is sort of like a spoiled.
It is,
type
but
of-
listen, if this is fucking hardware that's supposed to be the most powerful, it's supposed to be this. There's no reason it can't.
Yeah, I would agree.
There's no reason it can't. So if they come in and say that, that is a boost for you guys if you care about that. That's the thing. The problem I see with Scorpio is that I can't convince you guys to buy it. I can't give you a
Well,
reason.
we don't know.
Right? Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
we can,
But that's the
but
whole
it's
point of
not
this.
there
But
yet.
That's what's exciting about this press conference is that they have an opportunity
for you two,
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
have an opportunity to prove
Sell
to
us
people
both.
because
like
you're not
us.
saying no, you're saying I need to see.
I need to
And
see.
the only reason I'm saying yes already is because I want the 4K. I
you're
want the
nuts.
HDR.
Exactly. I don't care about
prep my
4K.
money. I'm spending $1,000 on a gaming monitor that hasn't even been announced yet, but I'm all in. The wild card before we get into games here, because we're not really going to talk about PlayStation, is
The only thing about Sony that Sony needs to do is last year they announced all kinds of cool ass games.
that.
When
Are they coming?
Yeah, if they keep all that, if nothing's going to be actually be released,
No,
then
all
last
right.
year was a wash.
Let's talk about that for a second before I wanted to talk about my other thing.
Because last year for them was fucking awesome, dude. And I don't even care really.
Listen, last year, let's talk about the history. Is Kevin finally joined me on my E3 escapades.
Dude, that was ridiculous.
So I was making nachos, beer for days. I had all this food. Kevin came in. We posted up, man. We put World of Warcraft in between conferences.
Oh, yeah,
it was
I
fucking
forgot.
beautiful.
You guys are in that.
Kevin
binge.
played on his laptop. I played on my. I don't think I had
don't even know how
Skynet.
I played it on my laptop.
Oh, I didn't have my laptop yet. That was why.
You guys still haven't played Ion.
Shut
but
up. Yeah, we have. We have. I have. But we were in it, man, and we watched Xbox conference because Xbox used to be at 12 on Monday, and then Sony is always at 8, like it is now. And me and Kevin, we watched Microsoft, and we're like, dude, that's fucking dope conference, man.
Microsoft had to improve off of.
And what they did games, and it was fine.
It was good.
It was good. We walked out, I was like, fuck yeah, man. We watched Ubisoft, and we're like, okay.
What the fuck?
What happened?
Dancing on stage.
There's Just Dancing. Okay, that's them. And we got the Sony, and we didn't own PlayStations. Kevin didn't have one in his household yet.
No,
not yet. But I played The Last of Us, one of my favorite games. Have a PlayStation 3. Have all the great games here with us. Just haven't beat them. And midway through that Sony press conference, me and Kevin, I looked at Kevin. I was like, I think we're on the wrong team. And I'm a diehard Xbox guy. I was like,
doing like a montage or whatever, and I saw fucking Spider-Man.
Yep.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
I'm gonna get an open world Spider-Man.
For me, it was Detroit Become Human, which or no, I don't think. I think that I just combined 2 of their games. But no,
I think that was right.
Yeah, it is. It's Detroit Become Human from Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream, one of my favorite games of all time, is Heavy Rain. Which, Nick, do you know what Heavy Rain is? Okay, yeah, it's got like 55 different endings, which is nuts. Phenomenal. Played that game, and it's got that. It's got Spider-Man, God of War 3, or new one looked very cool. Never played a God of War game. All these games, I'm just like, that's cool. That's cool. Uncharted 4 was talked about because it didn't come out yet. That was cool. I was like, God damn. And then they ended. Or they had, for me, Resident Evil 7, but with VR. And I was like, oh my God. Because I'm a diehard Resident Evil fan. That was like, I'm buying I said it in the I was like, I'm buying a PSVR. Thank God I didn't do it. Sorry. Then they ended with The Last of Us Part 2 tease.
Oh, yeah.
Or was that a PSX or was that at E3?
I don't know where it was, but I watched that tease and
you're right. It was PSX in December.
Yeah, it was later.
But still, even in E3, I was like, "Fucking, we lost."
I still haven't. I have the game. I have not played it.
But this is the problem with PS4 is we don't know when any of those games are coming out. At least the Xbox, we know this shit's coming out,
and they're pretty good. They're not
with their big games though.
Much. Yeah,
the game below that is an indie game, huge indie game by Capybara, who's like a renowned indie developer. This game was announced at the Xbox One reveal event, and it's still not out.
What game is it?
Below.
Oh.
It's an indie game. It's, if you remember, it's the little guy. You're like at a very raised view, and he's like walking around the map. It's like an action game. You would know it if you saw it, but there's that. There's Cuphead, which we've been seeing now for 3 E3s. So they're not perfect with that, but with their limited number of exclusives, so I guess that's their cop out or whatever, we know when their games are mostly coming out. PlayStation, they announced Death Stranding with Hideo Kojima. And that game's
see that game for
5 years, maybe. Spider-Man, is it this year or is it 3 years from now? We don't know. So that's Sony's problem. But to close on Microsoft and the games, once we get the third party, VR is the other wild card for me. Because if I had the money,
becoming ever popular.
If I had the money, I would have one already. I'm so into VR. I tried it myself, and then I took Kevin and our friend Brant to go play VR
at the local Best Buy.
At the local Best Buy, PSVR.
PSVR, which like isn't even PSVR. I guess is
it's regarded as the most comfortable, but the worst in terms of technology.
Yeah.
So, but dude,
and that was still pretty cool.
We played Eve Valkyrie, which is a spaceship game, and you were fucking in that spaceship, man. It was fucking nuts. You would look down and look else. Like, this is for me. So if Xbox comes out, because Xbox has a partnership with Oculus, and Oculus has obviously the Oculus Rift, each Oculus ships with an Xbox One controller, they can have some type of thing. And Fallout, the Bethesda conference is after Microsoft's press conference. Xbox already has a weird partnership with Bethesda, kinda.
Yeah. Whatever
they're saying
call
Bethesda's big announcement might be a Fallout 4 VR.
which I would totally buy into.
I feel like that
you
would
could
be-
sell me on Scorpio right there.
I was gonna say, if a Scorpio launches with your Oculus Rift, hey, that can now play with the Xbox One. We don't need our own
I could
thing.
see that actually being legit.
Exactly. It'll work. The thing that's weird is that Phil Spencer said VR is not, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, is not the priority of Xbox One Scorpio.
And it
Scorpio is fully ready to do VR,
Yeah.
but that's just what he said publicly. So who knows if they're...
And that's a smart move because you don't want to throw all your eggs.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that,
and
VR
I don't...
is still very unpredictable. Like,
Yeah,
you don't know where it's
it could be
gonna
like
go.
3D movies.
That's exactly what he said. He said it's a very, whatever industry.
You can't come out and say a full-on VR gaming machine, like what they did.
It's gonna cloud it. I think they're smart by doing that.
Agreed.
I think it'll be a smart move if they come out, release Scorpio, don't talk about VR, but then in Bethesda's press
They
conference,
sneak it in.
they get it in that way where it doesn't cloud
Bethesda's
it.
having another.
Yep, they've announced it this year,
Oh.
which they have at E3. It's called Bethesda Land if you go to it, and they have
Sounds
all their
awesome.
stations for like Fallout, this, that, the other thing, and there's 2 unannounced
I'm
like
very
carnival
interested in that.
stands. So
Very
I don't know if you're going to be interested though, because the one which everyone's talking about is The Evil Within 2, which
really?
I played The Evil Within 1, really loved it. Our friend Brant said he almost threw up watching me play it, but it's like a Resident Evil type game, so I'm cool with that. The other game, they really don't know. They're saying it's too early for the next
Fallout. Yeah.
Fallout
Yeah.
back to Switch.
Is it-
Skyrim remaster for
Yeah,
Switch
yeah.
hasn't been talked about since the reveal
Yeah.
event.
And who knows if it'll be Skyrim
Which is a game that's
remastered.
fucking 8 years old.
Are
No,
they-
Skyrim Announce is already out, but we don't know if it's Skyrim remaster
That's what
for
I'm saying
Switch.
for the Switch. I don't know if it's
It might just be
remastered.
original Skyrim because
OG.
Switch might not be able to
Yeah,
fucking run
yeah, that's
a
what I'm saying.
remastered version.
But
which
guess who's still fucking getting it? Right here.
and Nick,
And I don't blame Nick because this is the point. He could literally, and for anyone listening, I'm sorry.
yeah, but I
Nick
might
could
be
literally
involved with
play-
you. Yeah.
Nick could be on his couch playing Skyrim like this with his arms. Just out here.
Kevin's leaning back.
Just his hands out here.
But Kevin, this is the problem where you talk about Nick. I bought Skyrim day one. Didn't come close to more than 20 hours in it, maybe. If it's on my bed and I could play an hour before bed every night,
It's over. You're
you
racking
sold
up
me on a
days.
fucking 8-year-old game, and I hate myself
Yeah,
for that a little
yeah.
bit.
I've bought in Fallout 3 or 4 times.
that's what that
Which is a
Switch
travesty.
has. It's convenience, man.
It's the bed, man. And listen, you can't really say it until you've done it. Because there are so many times where I'm sitting at my gaming chair and I'm playing Xbox and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna go I'm gonna go rewatch Game of Thrones and I'm gonna go play a couple of races of Mario Kart in bed. It's fucking nice. If I could do that with my Xbox One, do you know how many games I would play? How many more?
That thing's probably great on the toilet too.
Anywhere
I've
you
done
need
it.
to go.
I played some Zelda on that toilet, man.
This is gonna be the dumbest thing.
You know your legs are going numb. You're like,
Dumb. Oh fuck! I've been here for an hour and a half.
But no, you know the dumbest thing that really made me like, wow, this is gonna be fucking great.
What moment?
I was just downstairs. I have it in my dock 'cause I've been playing it on my TV. I pull it out to just like joke with my brother, like, "Yo, do you see I'm playing this game over here?" Right? I'm joking. And
It is fucking cool.
I put it on the washing machine and I just put the stand up, take the Joy-Cons out. I'm like, wow, I really could put this anywhere and play it.
All right,
And that's what jazzed me up.
but listen, fuck that stand. That stand needs to be on
It needs to
both
be-
sides.
it should be
Why
on both
is
sides.
it on one
Totally
side?
agree.
Unless it's a perfect surface,
Yeah.
it doesn't stand up.
Yeah, you're right. It was totally
It's
poor
nonsense.
design, but it doesn't matter. I'm just more jazzed that I can really put it anywhere.
Listen,
and
me
play it.
and my girlfriend were in Boston. She's got conferences she's doing for psychology. I'm in the car playing Switch, waiting for her to come out. She comes out for an hour break.
We're like, oh, it's fun.
I set that bitch up in the car. We're playing sniffer clips with 2 controllers. You can't do that, man. Anywhere
can't
else.
do that anywhere else.
And I haven't played a handheld because it's technically still a
It
handheld
is. Yeah.
since the fucking Game Boy Advance SP when I was playing
Amazing
Pokemon
console.
like Fire Red and shit. Or not Fire Red, yeah.
That thing-
Fire Red.
Fire was on
Sapphire
it,
and-
yeah.
yeah.
And Ruby and Sapphire. Yeah.
To stay on that SP subject, that thing was life changing.
It really
With
was.
that backlit screen.
Yes.
Are you
No,
kidding me?
kids these days don't know what a backlit screen did.
And I hate that they even there was the option to even turn it off. I wanted that shit on
Oh my
all
God.
the time. There was no reason to
Dude,
not
there was
have it.
car rides as a kid where you had the fucking original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance where you would have to play the fucking like the street lights. Like
Yeah.
every few
Not only
seconds
that,
you'd get to see what you were
Remember when they
doing.
came out with that shitty light that you'd plug
The
into like the
stick
chart,
that
the
came
side?
up and around.
And it was awful. It was like the worst light ever. It didn't even
It was enough. It was enough. It did the job.
God.
All right. Let's get into it. So we talked about Scorpio. I'm in. We're going to see.
Games now, right?
We're going to talk about some games here.
You put me in Boston. You tell me I can be in Boston.
Listen, dude.
Thing around my head, I'm getting
in
it.
Boston at 15
because listen,
frames a second.
that's the other problem. But listen, Resident Evil 7, I played it. I loved it. Diehard Resident Evil fan. In VR, that game would scare the shit out of people. More importantly, Kevin.
No, that's the thing about horror VR.
It's perfect.
I think it's
the perfect genre for it.
Yeah, there's a good place for horror games in VR because if you're playing on the 2D surface, a horror game, if something like freaks you out, you could turn away. You're out of those situations. When you're in VR, you turn around, you're still in the fucking room with whatever goddamn thing is chasing you.
Nick, do you care if I spoil Gone Home a little bit?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
That game in VR.
All right. Kevin, this one talk about spoilers for Gone Home. Gone Home, what you thought it's a horror game at first, right?
I
knowing nothing?
Yes, I thought you conned me and I was going to be frightened.
So that's what you think, Nick, the whole time, but it's really just a story game. But the fact, if you were in VR, Kevin, isn't that such a simple excuse for VR?
Yeah.
You're in this house, you're reading these notes, you're looking around at these notes because you're finding all these journals and stuff. Story games have such a purpose, and it's so simple. I think in VR, it's just you're more because you're already in the world. By playing it, but you're further in the world, and it's not needed. I don't think it's needed, but it just adds to it.
The thing with VR that I don't necessarily need is the actual movement of your arms.
We could play with a controller.
The immersion itself, if you could just look anywhere in the place.
That's all I need. I just want to be able to look around.
To see my stupid. Random
glitchy ass hands. Yeah, because that's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's spazzing. Your hands look ridiculous.
All right, so that was the last touchstone in VR. So we're gonna go down. We're looking at IGN's wiki for E3 2017. I'm just gonna go down the list and touch on any things that I feel are relevant to us. Apparently, there's a Battlefield 1 expansion coming out. Bought Battlefield day one. Played a campaign mission. We didn't play much multiplayer.
I could have told you from the get-go that was a bad move.
No, I loved it.
That game is very fun.
The best intro to that game ever, maybe in video games. The intro, single player intro,
I don't
where you remember you're thrown into it and you're supposed to die. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Pretty cool, very cool. But didn't hold up.
No, it's like any other Battlefield game. The multiplayer is very fun, but there is progression, but. It just is what it is,
That's what they lack.
You could always go back to those games and have a blast.
We still go back to Battlefield 4 occasionally.
Battlefield 4 is one of the best multiplayer games.
And I like Battlefield 4.
Yeah, you do like it, right? Because it works. Yeah. Well, when me and Kevin had day one Xbox Ones, the game was broken I bought it. Then Kevin bought it a little bit later, and when Kevin bought it, the game broke for about 7 months. The game online didn't work. All right, brings us to Call of Duty World War II. Now,
give me that.
I haven't been this excited about a Call of Duty game since
Modern Warfare Remastered.
No,
it's about
well, that's Now that's the easy answer, but the honest answer is Advanced Warfare. Just because I thought Kevin Spacey, I was fresh off House of Cards. I was all in on Kevin Spacey. They put him in a Call of Duty game. That's the last Call of Duty campaign I beat. Liked it a lot. But I told my dad this too, because my dad used to play games back in the day. There's a distinct memory of him playing GoldenEye 007 on the N64 because it was in my bedroom and I wake up in the middle of the night and he's still playing at 4 a.m. We talk about this all the time. I said, Dad, because I set him up with Battlefield 1 recently and he played it for 3 hours. I was like, the hype was real when I realized I'm buying the Scorpio, so I'm going to play Call of Duty World War II, 4K HDR.
Because
my Astro Dolby Surround headset, I'm going to storm the beaches in Normandy.
Yeah.
And
in 4K,
which we haven't seen since it was 480p, 10 years ago.
Not that the Call of Duty game is going to be optimized. It's not going to run like shit.
We don't have to worry about that. But we haven't seen it since Call of Duty 2. And that was almost 10 years ago. So the fact we're going back to World War II.
He means World War II. World at War was World 2.
Maybe,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, maybe 1080p, right. But it's All right, go back and play World at War.
It's
it looks like shit.
Game. It's a shit game.
No, I'm not saying it's a shit game, but
no,
it looks
zombies, that was it.
It looks like shit. But the fact that it's gonna be 4K, not even if you were playing 1080p, it's gonna look so good.
It will.
And it sold me on it. I don't really care. I'm actually more sold on the campaign finally than the multiplayer.
Just wait till you have a tiger skin on your M1.
To completely pull me out of it.
That'll be great.
It's only a matter of time before they put in there.
Dude, you're gonna be getting freaking quick 360 quick scoped.
But no, I'm very, very excited for a Call of Duty, a relatively new Call of Duty experience where people aren't fucking flying all over the place.
Exactly.
Boots on the ground.
No. See, you had to say it before I talked about it. They ruined it. They had that going for them. But in the reveal event, if you watched the whole event like I did, they said boots on the ground literally 57 times.
No, that was a big thing for people in that.
It was, but they said it so often that it ruined it. Transition to Switch. Perfect, Nick.
Speaking of bad reviews.
Speaking of most disappointing games of 2 years ago, this year we have Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, Nick, you're out of this conversation because you don't give a fuck about Star Wars. Kevin, I was rock hard for Battlefront 1.
I put a good amount in that.
But what was that multiplayer, Kevin?
What?
What was the multiplayer?
It was Battlefield, basically.
No, it was super casual. There was no...
Oh, no, yeah, it was casual.
It was so... I never felt like a hardcore gamer till this game came out where I was like, this game is so easy to get kills that it's broken. Because me being good doesn't help anything. It's all like auto aim. It was so bad. I couldn't play it. I couldn't play multiplayer, and it launched with only multiplayer. There was no single player. There was like a horde type mission mode, but that was it.
There was the first 2 weeks of that game were awesome because the visuals in that game were
it's unprecedented.
Impeccable.
Yeah.
The sounds, everything was
the sounds were the best in that game for me.
Everything was sure out of the movies, but then the stupid fucking you find the hero power up, you become Jango Fett, you're flying 300 feet above everybody,
killing everybody. Yeah, that's why Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, you got the campaign, Nick. Now, Nick, have you seen all the Star Wars movies? At least
I haven't.
Fucking awful.
I've seen a few.
Well, listen,
snippets of a few.
You know the Death Star?
Yeah.
At the end of the movies, the Death Star gets blown up, right?
Yes.
So in Battlefront 2, you get to be an Empire woman troop who sees the Death Star blow up, and you're the Empire, the bad guys, and you're like, now what? And that's going to be the campaign, which I think is very cool.
That's a unique.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what that's going to do.
Is it going to be canon?
Everything now is canon. It's canon.
I can't wait until it's EA, right? EA's Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes, DICE.
I can't wait till the servers just don't work at all.
Not only the servers.
Battlefront did work though.
I can't wait for DLC Hawaiian shorts for Vader.
Shut up.
Because that's coming.
You gotta buy your $400 season pass when the game releases.
Day one DLC.
Otherwise, you only get 1 hour of story access unless you buy their season pass.
Literally, that's the most atrocious thing. Day one DLC. Honestly, garbage. But we can have that conversation another time.
So we got State of Decay 2 next, which we're going to touch on for a second because you guys...
I think that game is honestly right up Nick's alley.
It is.
Although maybe not so much the zombies.
Now, listen,
I don't know enough about it. What is it?
I played the first one on 360. It got remastered for Xbox One. It's technically what the fuck is the phrase? Permadeath. So if your guy dies, you get a brand new person.
Survival game.
Yeah.
Yep, familiar with that.
Bases all around the map. There's hordes, there's missions, there's scavenging, there's quests to do. You go out, you clear a base to bring more resources back for your home base where is your community. So if you build up your community, you get more resources to spend on other stuff. Very cool because it's zombies, so you have guns. It's stupid art style. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
But with this one, it's 4-player co-op. Which means all 4 of us could jump in and start clearing out zombie bases and zombie hordes.
That wasn't the case with the first one?
No co-op at all. No multiplayer at all. By yourself. So this has the potential to be something fun. We're going to see more. That's all we're going to talk about that one.
That's fair. Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey. We talked a little bit about Switch.
Can't wait for that.
Gotta see more. Never beat a Mario game before.
I loved Sunshine. I loved 64. I loved Galaxy. I haven't played Galaxy 2. I own it. I haven't played it yet. But all three of those are great. All three open worlds up to that point.
I guarantee like you get all you're getting for that is like coming soon.
Yeah.
Super
this the thing. This is the thing to talk about Xbox Scorpio right now. What they need to do at their press conference. Let's talk about Sea of Thieves because it's not on either of these lists for some reason.
Because it's in super alpha.
Technically,
I'm not even sure if the NDA allows this, but we're a small podcast, so whatever. We and Kevin played the alpha. I had, Nicholas, the most fun I've had in a video game, and as long as I could remember. Kevin, what is your stance after playing it?
It's very interesting.
Talk about just basic fun in a video. When was the last time you had that much fun in a video game?
It was fun. And like when you think about what
I'm
not gonna like say what we were doing or whatever.
Yeah, because you're doing bad things.
But there was a point where I literally just went into the tavern and just sucked them dry, and I was throwing up
all of our players. So when Kevin threw up on me, my screen was clouded. It's just a dumb pirate game, but if they build on what they have, it will be perfect. If there is a
the thing
grinding system,
they need to give
incentive.
There needs to be a goal, because they're like what we were doing in the alpha is like as long as there's an ultimate goal to do with whatever it is we were doing, it was because really all it was at this point was going, finding treasure,
bringing it back,
selling that treasure for money. But I mean,
we
it's
couldn't
only
do
an
it.
alpha state, so there's nothing to do with
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
but-
It's just I picture us four on a ship.
Oh, dude, it was
Foreplay on a ship. It was, and we were with randoms.
There was a point. I'm standing on the nose of the ship, or what is it, the bow?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I'm on the very tip of the
Titanic.
ship, the front.
Getting close there.
And there was a squad that was
Yeah, an enemy ship came in hot.
that was messing with us for a little bit.
Wait, wait, is this the one that we were chasing for a while? Is that where this the where you guys? Okay,
you'll know what I'm talking about when I say it. Their ship was like, it was a good decent ways off. But we were messing with each other for a while, and we were going back and forth. So me and Rosa, and you're in like it match makes you into a squad of four. So there were two other randoms with us. We all get on our ship. We're all ready to go. All of a sudden, Rosa pulls a U-turn, and we're headed.
Because I was the captain.
Their boat was parked, and we're headed straight into a T-bone, and he does not show any.
Oh yeah, all right. So this was the one where we saw them off in the distance, and at this point, I was starting to get bored with our teammates and stuff. They were great. They were great companions for the game, what we were doing, but we hadn't seen a ship in a while, so I was like, we're pursuing them. So as the captain of the boat, I can't see unless Kevin controls the sails because
everything's just in front of his face.
Yeah, so I can't see where I'm going. So I'm like, Kevin, I need to talk. We were not in party chat. I was like, Kevin, where are you going? Or whatever the kid's name was. I was like, am I going left, right? All right, go right, Brandon, go right. So I'm fine. They're at port. They're at dock. And they think when you drop the anchor, if I turn the wheel all the way and drop the anchor, I'll hook a Yui, basically. I'll like sharp turn. Because think if I'm going straight and handbrake.
Yeah.
I tell them, like, get ready on the anchor, get ready on the anchor. I don't say it. So I just fucking bulldoze this enemy ship. Kevin jumps across into.
As soon as the boat crashes into the enemy ship, I leap off the front onto their ship with my blunderbuss.
Yep. And we just start fighting. Honestly, like you come back, like you respawn kind of quickly, but the fact that was like at one point in the game, earlier in the game, as soon as we launched the alpha, Kevin played a little bit, but as soon as I got in, we were in constant fight with this enemy ship for a while. Like we just kept fighting. Like we didn't get to actually play the other stuff. And then we kind of got broken away from them a little bit. But then we came back and we were fighting. And there's proximity chat, which is awesome. Which games. I wish I hope it's forced. I wish party chat is almost disallowed when you play this game.
Yeah, because it adds to the experience.
Yeah.
So we're fighting with them. They're like parlay, like parlay, which is like pirate code for like we're amicable or whatever. So we get on the island, and at any point in time, instead of pulling out your weapon, you can pull out an instrument to play music and just like shred some music. So I'm on an island. I have treasure because you have to dig up the treasure, find it on your map, use the compass, and get the treasure. And I got the treasure, and like pirate parlay, and there's 2 of them. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's cool. I'm not gonna shoot you. I got my treasure. And I put it down for whatever reason. They're like, pirate parlay. And then the one guy just grabs it and he's like, run. And he just takes off and the other guy starts shooting me and I'm shooting him. And I'm like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. So if Xbox comes out and says, you know what, this is coming out this fall. We have Crackdown, which is going to be our lead off next. We have State of Decay 2. They're not huge exclusives. No one cares about these franchises really, but we'll put all these together with our racing because Forza 7 is going to come out, and
yeah, I mean, who knows too?
I might even buy.
People.
I might, yeah.
Not gonna get that.
But I'll tell you what. As someone who's buying the Scorpio, no better game is going to look better than that racing.
You're
game
right.
in
You're
4K
totally
HDR.
Right. I can't justify a
So
racing game
CPs,
purchase,
please give us something to play because
I do like myself a racing game, but I don't know.
Again, I have a wonderful game in GTA 5, and I have a full-fledged racing game in GTA 5. Why am I going to buy Forza?
It's going to run better on Scorpio.
Even so.
Either way.
Why am I going to buy Forza?
All right, we'll do Crackdown 3. Nick, you played Crackdown.
Crackdown was great. Amazing
Back
game.
then, did you play 2?
I played a little bit of 2, and I wasn't as excited with it.
No, it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Crackdown, Kevin didn't play it. Open world, almost like superhero guy, action guy. You jump around.
You're an agent.
You're an agent. It was just like dumb open world fun.
Yeah. Like Just Cause almost.
Yeah,
Just
it was
Cause type
before Just
nonsense.
Cause.
Yeah.
But it was more of like a futuristic type.
Yeah,
of
futuristic weapons and stuff. So this was back then. Current reveals because this game was announced 3 E3s ago now, which has been a while. Yeah, 2 or 3 E3s ago.
It had to have only been 2. There's no way it was 3. I'll throw.
I think it was Gamescom after E3, but I'll check that as we talk. But the big thing with Crackdown 3 is when it was announced, it was talked about that everything is indestructible. All the buildings are indestructible, and the whole point is that it's using the power of the cloud to like power the game.
Okay.
So if everything in that game is indestructible, Nick, I mean, you played the first one. What does that do?
Indestructible or destructible?
Destructible, where you can take down any building.
Yeah,
Remember,
okay.
like all the buildings. Imagine if you could just like Battlefield, like take down all those buildings. Like that would be really cool.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Um,
It's more immersive.
Which to this day, one of the single greatest moments of my gaming career is Battlefield 4 on that one map where the giant ass skyscraper in the middle of the match just comes crashing down.
Kevin, nothing quite matches up to that, man. The first time you see that,
especially when
that was next gen. That was next gen.
Like you can experience it when you're on a roof, like that's a little like a distance away from it. And you watch the building come down, but it's different when you're on top of that building, and all of a sudden things start rumbling, and all of a sudden you see everyone just stops fighting, turns around, just runs and dives out the window and pops their chutes.
Kevin? What? Crackdown 3 was announced at Microsoft's E3 press conference in June of 2014. I told you, this is the third E3.
What?
This is the longest development.
You haven't seen anything in that game since?
No, nothing.
I mean, maybe.
Gamescom, they showed very little. Some people saw it behind closed doors, but thank you guys for watching or listening.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/4playvideo.
If you like what we're doing, make sure to smash that like button.
Be sure to share all our videos with your friends so we could continue to grow, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.